Miami Heat fans around the world are absolutely just mind boggled. They are pissed. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to say, but criticize Pat Riley for a signing we missed out on for a very, very, very small amount of money. We'll break down what I'm referring to on this episode of Heat Digest, and we'll do it right now. So let's get to it and break down the disaster surrounding Miami. So, what is going on? Well, last season during that problematic and complicated season where we had a lot of injuries and things weren't going very well for this Miami organization. There was a lot of trade talks going on around bigs, possibly going out and getting a Nick Claxton, Andre Drummond, someone that would really establish some size and defense with a little bit of rebounding for this Miami Heat squad, but as well as going out and get another guard that we can take some pressure off of players like Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, and obviously Kyle Lowry, who was still the starting point guard for this Miami Heat squad. Obviously, we went out and got Terry Rozier, but another name that was constantly flying around the Miami Heat circle was Tyus Jones, who was playing with the Washington Wizards last season. Now, as we know, Tyus Jones was a hell of a player last year as he got the job done for the Washington Wizards on a team that wasn't very good until they played the Miami Heat, obviously. But again, 12 points, right under 3 rebounds per game with 7.3 assists, 1.1 steals, and only 1 turnover per game while shooting just under 50% from the field and 41.5% from behind the three-point line. Obviously, Tyus Jones is now 28 years old, going on 29. But again, he is a hell of a player. He has some experience in the league, and obviously he played a big-time game in college before getting drafted. So again, he's been a good player for a long time, and now he's really finding his groove and finding his way in the NBA. Well, just a few days ago, and when I say a few days, I mean 2 days ago, Tyus Jones was signed to a $3.3 million contract with the Phoenix Suns. Now, why is that a problem for the Miami Heat? Well, he's not playing in Miami, and here's the problem. Yes, we just discussed the Miami Heat depth chart just in the last video 2 days ago, where we're breaking down how it's going to look when the season starts, and if Kel'el Ware is going to start next to Bam Adebayo, and what guard isn't going to make the starting 5 between Rozier, Hero, Robinson, whoever it may be in the different lineup reconstructions that we have going into next season. But this is a kicker. This hurts a lot. As Tyus Jones, again, we were mentioning his name during last season as we felt like we needed a guard and we didn't want to really go out and pay a lot of money for one. So we went out and traded Kyle Lowry. We ended up getting Terry Rozier, which was a hell of a player to acquire via trade, especially for the price tag that we got him for. I would say that is a win. The only problem is Tyus Jones, again, would have been cheaper. Yes, Washington would have probably been a much steeper ask because they knew what they were giving up and they knew the position they were putting themselves in if they were going to give up their number one ball handler in Tyus Jones last season. But again, now the season ends. No one really knew he was going to walk, and to that credit, we have to cite Barry Jackson, who is, again, one of the best beat writers covering the Miami Heat around the Miami Heat right now. So shout out to Barry Jackson. Again, Flash Sports Buzz on Twitter. If you don't follow him already, go and follow him now. He's one of the best at what he does. He goes on to say this right after Tyus Jones signed that $3.3 million deal with the Suns, saying, and I quote, "While Tyus Jones ultimately took $3.3 million with the Suns, he couldn't do that and stay under the second apron. They could have not signed Love or Bryant and hoped that a player like Jones would have taken well under market later. But they valued Love and Bryant. He inquired about Jones before acquiring Rozier." Obviously, we just mentioned that as his names were being mentioned last season before the NBA trade deadline. And again, the Miami Heat needed another guard, or at least it didn't seem like they needed another guard, but they were very vocal and present about needing another guard to help out the rotation at the top end of it. But again, that was not what happened, and we went out and got Terry Rozier. Obviously, Tyus Jones was inquired about, but it never actually pieced together. And then to watch him take a substantial pay cut and go to a powerhouse team out west to play alongside Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, this team, now he's going to orchestrate that offense. It is going to work very well for Tyus Jones, and I hope nothing but success for him, but it's just so sucks that he's not going to be playing in the Miami Heat jersey for this Miami Heat organization. Now, Barry Jackson went on to say this, as there is a lot of criticism and speculation surrounding Thomas Bryant and Kevin Love. Obviously, a lot of people do enjoy Kevin Love and his abilities that he brings to the basketball floor, despite being much older now and not being as dominant as he was before in even Cleveland or even in Minnesota, obviously. But again, Thomas Bryant was the big one. Obviously, he walked, and then they came back and they gave him some money, and he came back on a very small deal. But Thomas Bryant hasn't really played a lot over the last 2 seasons for the Miami Heat. Obviously, he's played here and there. He's played for a handful of different teams, the Lakers, Denver, now Miami. He's been all over the place. He's got a lot of good experience. But again, a lot of that experience doesn't come from playing on the floor. It's usually from sitting on the bench, playing alongside other really good players who he's able to learn from. But again, not a lot of actual playing time, not a lot of actual playing experience. So a lot of questions were surrounded that. So Barry Jackson came out and said this, subtweeting, I should say, quoting his other tweet following that we just read, saying, "It will always remain a mystery, like crop circles, whether Heat promised Bryant if they would re-sign him if he opted out and found no greener pastures. Bryant swears they didn't." So a little bit of a mystery going on here between Miami, the Thomas Bryant situation, and the rest of the circle surrounding the Miami, which would be the fans, the media, and everyone else, as it seems kind of peculiar that they let Thomas Bryant walk. He didn't find anybody to sign him for an obvious reason, it may seem like on paper and at the forefront, and then he came back, they offered him a small amount of money, and now he's a part of the Miami Heat once again. It just leaves a lot of questions. Obviously, Kevin Love coming back on a team-friendly, player-friendly deal makes a lot of sense, as obviously we talked about this in a Heat Digest video a while back when he initially declined his last year with the Miami Heat, but both sides were friendly about it. They were cordial. They both had a meeting and said, we would love to come back and love to make a deal work that would work for both sides of the party, allowing Kevin Love to come back. And that makes all the sense in the world. You're not going to hear an argument out of me. I love Kevin Love on this Miami Heat roster. And again, it's not for the point production that he's going to give us or even the stat production overall that he's going to give us. It's just simply his overall game and his leadership that he can still provide at this age. And again, it's really unmatched. His ability to take balls out of a made basket, step 1 foot out of bounds, and throw a full court outlet pass to really progress the offense, get the ball moving when we go stagnant in the half court offense, allow the transition to really happen in an unfrequent scenario where it's just not natural, and he's able to advance the ball so a quarter length of the court, half the court distance on a made basket before the defense is able to get back, even on a made free throw, a made layup, whatever it may be. I think he adds a very versatile piece to this offense that obviously Thomas Bryant, I don't even have to make the claim, does not. Obviously, Thomas Bryant, we've seen when he comes on the floor, when those rare moments, he's like an energizer bunny, I should say. And that's no shocker. Obviously, he doesn't get a lot of playing time. He comes in. He can be a spark plug at times, but again, a lot of the times it looks clumsy. A lot of the times it's very sloppy basketball, and it's kind of just a hope and pray that he is able to put pieces together and look coordinated for a series of possessions for this Miami Heat team. So whatever center he's filling in for, or whatever power forward he's filling in for, can get the breather, get his breath, and come back in. So again, let me know down in the comments, what do you guys think about this signing of Tyus Jones and our signings of Thomas Bryant, and not being able to go out and get someone like a Tyus Jones? I will make the argument that this Miami Heat team, with the amount of roster we currently have, with Pelle Larsson at a guard, Alec Burks, Terry Rozier, Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Jaquez can play the two, kind of. He can handle the ball a bit. Jimmy Butler obviously can handle the basketball. There is a lot of guard potential already on this team, and I'm not even mentioning Alondas Williams, who's obviously on a two-way contract. Josh Christopher, obviously on a two-way contract. There's a lot of depth at the guard positions, a lot more at the guard positions than there are at the forwards and center positions for this Miami Heat team. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this. Did we absolutely blow one here and not get Tyus Jones in a Miami Heat uniform, or are we okay with this? Do you think things are going to be better on the other side with the roster we have lacking Tyus Jones? So again, that'll be it for this episode of Heat Digest, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you guys for watching.